The wait is finally over. Every episode of Season 5 is now available to watch in the US, and that means one thing. We can finally turn our eyes toward Season 6. This is not just another chapter. This is the chapter that carries us into the most powerful and heart-wrenching days of Jesus' life. The days that changed history forever. Right now, Season 6 is being filmed. But the story behind its production is just as fascinating as the story it will tell. For the crucifixion, the cast and crew traveled all the way to Italy, choosing the same location where the Passion of the Christ was filmed. The weight of that choice is extraordinary. To film the final hours of Jesus' life on the very ground where another unforgettable retelling was brought to life is both symbolic and chilling. Now the team has returned to the United States to finish filming the rest of the season. And we already know more than enough to understand just how special this next installment is going to be. But before we dive deep into the upcoming season, we need to look back. We need to remember exactly how Season 5 left us, because that ending was not just powerful. It was the setup for the storm that's about to come. Think back to the final episode. The disciples follow Jesus by torchlight until they reach a walled garden. Gethsemane. Only Peter, James, and John are allowed to go further inside, while the others remain at a distance. Already the air feels heavy. Already we sense that something irreversible is about to unfold. Jesus nearly collapses, burdened by the weight of what is coming. He confides in John, telling him that his soul is sorrowful to the point of death. Peter suggests bringing a doctor. But Jesus makes it clear. He has already placed himself in the hands of the great physician. That moment hits like a wave. Because we know what he means. He is entrusting himself to God. He asks his closest friends to stay awake and to keep watch as he goes further into the garden to pray. And here, the story deepens into something raw, vulnerable, and unforgettable. Jesus leans against the rock, overwhelmed by the path before him. His words carry the weight of all human fear and doubt. He cries out, "I don't think I can do this. You ask too much of me." That line lingers. It makes us pause. It makes us realize that even in his divine mission, Jesus fully embraced the pain of human struggle. But his prayer shifts. His fear is transformed into a desperate plea for strength. "Make me stronger," he begs. And then something remarkable happens. He sees a vision. Abraham and Isaac preparing wood for the sacrifice. When Isaac asks about the lamb, Abraham assures him that God will provide. In this vision, Jesus steps into that moment. He reminds Isaac not to fear, because God spared him. It was only a test. The power of this vision fills Jesus with renewed faith. He kneels again and prays, "Not my will, but yours be done. I trust you." When he returns, he finds Peter, James, and John asleep. The frustration in his voice cuts through the night. He tells them to stay awake, reminding them that though the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. It's a warning as much as it is a rebuke. He goes back to pray, and this time the world around him shifts again. A fog rolls in, thick and mysterious, until Jesus finds himself face to face with the prophet Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones. The question comes. Can these bones live? And Ezekiel answers, "Only you know, Lord." They embrace, and Jesus weeps, reminded of the depth of his calling and the faithfulness of those who came before him. The story grows heavier still. When he returns once again to find his disciples sleeping, the anger has faded. Instead, compassion takes over. He lets them rest, understanding their weakness, but carrying the burden alone. His hands tremble in his final prayer, until someone touches him gently. It's Joseph, his stepfather. A vision of comfort. They embrace, and Joseph reassures him that he will be waiting. This moment breaks through every barrier. We see Jesus not just as the Savior, but as a son. Vulnerable, longing, strengthened by the presence of one who raised him. Finally, Jesus rises. He wakes the three and tells them the words that signal the turning point of history. The hour has come. And just then, at the gate, a mob approaches with torches blazing. Behind them walks Judas. He steps forward, greets Jesus as Rabbi, and kisses him. That kiss, unnecessary to identify him but essential to fulfill prophecy, seals the betrayal. Jesus responds with devastating calm. My friend, do what you came to do. That is the last image of season 5. And what a final image it was. But the story does not end there. In fact, that moment is just the beginning of what will unfold in season 6. And if you thought the ending of season 5 shook you, wait until you hear what comes next. Now let's step away from the emotional weight of the story for a moment and look at how this production is unfolding. Because season 6 is unlike anything The Chosen has attempted before. Filming began months ago in the United States. The team started with some of the most pivotal scenes in the gospel narrative. The arrest of Jesus. The tense journey that leads him before the high priest. And even the early interactions with Pilate. Each of these moments has been carefully crafted, and we know from behind-the-scenes glimpses that the trial scenes are massive in scale. Recently, a passage from Matthew 26 verse 57 was teased, showing that Jesus' appearance before the Sanhedrin is being filmed. That alone tells us the gravity of what is being created. But the real centerpiece of this season took the cast and crew across the ocean. They traveled to Italy to shoot the crucifixion itself. Yes, those heart-stopping moments on the cross were filmed in the same place where Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ was brought to life. That choice is not only symbolic. It gives the production a sense of continuity with one of the most powerful portrayals of Jesus' suffering ever captured on film. From the few leaks we've seen, including images of Jonathan as Jesus on the cross, it's already clear that these scenes will leave audiences shaken. Even low-quality images have stirred deep emotions among fans. And then something unexpected happened during filming. The cast had the chance to meet the Pope himself. That meeting not only blessed the project in a symbolic way, but also showed just how far The Chosen has come as a cultural force. From a grassroots crowd-funded show to a global phenomenon that finds itself welcomed at the highest levels of faith leadership, this journey has been remarkable. After the crucifixion scenes were completed, the team returned to the U.S. Production resumed at full strength, with more courtroom moments, more betrayals, and more heartbreak being brought to life. What makes this season unique is its length and intensity. This is the longest filming schedule in the show's history, and every piece of information we have suggests that the cast and crew are pouring more of themselves into this season than ever before. And here is where things get truly fascinating. The release strategy for Season 6 will not follow the usual pattern. Instead of a straightforward season release, the creators have chosen to divide the story into 2 major parts. The first part will consist of 6 episodes, released toward the end of 2026. These episodes will carry us from the aftermath of the betrayal into the unfolding trial and all the chaos that followed. But the second part is something entirely different. The crucifixion itself will not simply be an episode. It will be released as a feature-length film in theaters. That's right. The crucifixion of Jesus will be presented as a standalone cinematic event. This decision adds weight to the moment. It transforms it from the climax of a television series into a centerpiece of its own, a work of art meant to be experienced on the big screen. And the release date is already locked in. March 12, 2027. Mark it. Remember it. Because that day will bring one of the most anticipated portrayals of the crucifixion ever seen. The timing of this release means that fans will endure one of the longest waits between seasons in the history of the show. Season 5 ended in 2024. The next major content does not arrive until the very end of 2026. That's more than 2 years of waiting. But here's where anticipation turns into something even stronger. By stretching the gap, the show builds an atmosphere of hunger. It builds an audience ready to feel the full weight of what's coming. And if you're wondering whether those first 6 episodes will ever make it into theaters, the truth is, we don't yet know. Most likely, they will premiere on Prime Video, with the theatrical release reserved for the Crucifixion movie. But nothing is set in stone. What we do know is that this release strategy is designed to make the Crucifixion unforgettable. The question now is what comes after. And that answer might surprise you. The journey into Season 6 is already breathtaking, but what lies beyond may surprise you even more. Because The Chosen is not stopping with the Crucifixion. The vision for the series stretches further, expanding into new stories that will continue to bring the scriptures alive in ways audiences have never seen before. One of the most exciting announcements is the creation of a brand new miniseries focused entirely on Joseph of Egypt. This project will explore the life of the young dreamer betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and yet destined to rise to a position of power that would one day save his people. The arc of Joseph mirrors many of the themes we see in the story of Jesus. Betrayal, suffering, endurance, and ultimate redemption. In many ways, this upcoming miniseries will serve as a companion piece to the journey of Christ. A reminder that God's hand has always been present in the lives of His chosen ones. But let's return to the heart of what's ahead. Season 6 is not just another installment. It is the storm before the resurrection. Every scene, every moment, every vision and betrayal is preparing us for the weight of the cross. And that's why the release is being treated with such care. We know that before the season fully arrives, fans will get an early taste of what's to come. February 2026 will mark the gathering of the Chosen Insiders Conference. At this event, an entire episode from Season 6 will be unveiled. If not a full episode, then at least substantial scenes will be shown. For fans, this moment will be a revelation. The first chance to glimpse how Jesus' final days are being portrayed, the first time to hear the words and feel the emotions that will carry us into the darkest and yet most hopeful chapter of the Gospels. And even more, this event is likely to give us the trailer we are all waiting for. Maybe not the full version, but a teaser at the very least. A glimpse of the trial, the sorrow in Gethsemane, the clash before Pilate, and the shadow of the cross looming ahead. Just imagine the anticipation that will build from that moment until the official release. Of course, questions remain. When exactly will the first 6 episodes appear on streaming platforms? Will they be released directly to Prime Video, or will theaters play a larger role than expected? Will the Chosen app host the episodes before or after the Crucifixion film premieres? These details remain uncertain, but one truth is clear. The release plan is designed to elevate Season 6 into something beyond television. Something unforgettable. So here we are, standing at the edge of history retold. Season 5 ended with a kiss in the garden. Season 6 will bring us betrayal, trial, and death on a cross. And beyond that, the promise of resurrection. The weight of these episodes is more than entertainment. They are a chance for millions around the world to encounter the story that has defined faith for centuries in a way that feels raw, human, and alive. And the final hook is this. Season 6 is not just about looking back. It is about asking ourselves what we will see in those last days of Jesus. Will we see despair, or will we see hope? Will we see death, or will we see life breaking through? The story of the Chosen has always been about making the Bible real for today. But in Season 6, it will reach its climax. Because in every betrayal, every prayer, and every tear, the truth of Jesus' sacrifice will stand unshaken. And when the crucifixion finally arrives on March 12, 2027, audiences will walk away with hearts changed, faith renewed, and eyes fixed on the one moment that changed the world forever. Until then, the wait will be long, but the anticipation will make the arrival that much more powerful. The hour has come. And when it does, it will not just be a season. It will be an experience that lives on in every heart that watches.